We've had this old Dyson for quite a while. It's an SV04, and its batteries are flashing red, being on the charger, so basically the battery pack is shot. The only screw I can find is this screw right in here. So initially I'm going to try taking that screw out and hope that somehow there's a plate or something connecting down here that'll let me pull this piece off and maybe have an easily replaceable battery pack. So you unsnap this whole big dust cover, get access to this screw down here, unscrew that screw, unscrew this screw, and the whole thing pops out. So yeah, that's super easy. Just two Phillips head screws, one there, the whole thing just pulls out the bottom. You can actually buy these units replaceable. I thought I was going to have to crack it open and replace the actual 18650 cells inside, but you know, for 35 bucks for a replacement module, it's going to be kind of hard for me to justify doing that work, so I'm just going to buy a replacement. This is a really interesting module. This switch up here is to turn it on and off. The trigger from your Dyson vacuum actually pushes that switch. So this guy contains the charging circuitry, the batteries, and the on-off switch to turn on and off the thing. It probably has the smarts about when to turn off when your battery runs low. So you could theoretically take this connector here, wired up to a 21 volt or 24 volt DC source, and make a wired vacuum out of your wireless Dyson. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but you could. But it's kind of neat that they include all of the basically electronic equipment except for the motor all in this one unit that just slaps in and you can replace the whole thing. So yeah, this guy here costs $98 on the Dyson website, except it's out of stock right now. And I was thinking, well, I might have to buy some individual cells and replace them and hope that the BMS doesn't shut everything down if it detects that the cells have been removed. But then I found this guy on Amazon for 35 bucks. That's a direct plug-in replacement. It's made in China. The quality may not be up to par here, but if it gives me a couple more years of use out of this vacuum, you know, 35 bucks is hard to beat. So for assembly, it's just a matter of snapping it in. And as soon as it's snapped in, you know, this thing goes. And you just have to screw these two screws in. So there's the one screw right in there, and then the one screw back there. And once you put those screws in, it's basically ready to reassemble. And these two screws are just Phillips. So just probably a number, I think this is a number 2, maybe a number 3 Phillips driver. I'm using a number 2 driver on it. It might be a number 3 screw, but I think it's a number 2. So replacing that battery assembly is definitely something the user can do on their own. Replacing the actual cells inside of the battery assembly takes a lot more work. So yeah, to get that off again, you basically pop this thing down, and that opens this, so make sure the trash is out of it. But if you hold it down farther, you can pop this out, and then wiggle it a little bit, and this peg here comes out of that slot, and then you can get access to that screw there. And so putting it back in is basically the opposite of that. You just get that peg in the slot, and then snap this in, close that up, and you're ready to go. Alright, so the original battery pack here was rated, they used 2100 milliamp hour cells, so it's rated at 46 watt hours. And this guy is like 8-9 years old, so this guy here claims it's using 4500 milliamp hour cells, which is possible, although I suspect, you know, so it's 97.2 watt hours, so it's, you know, about double the capacity here is what it claims. Since it's Chinese, I'm thinking it's probably actually about the same original capacity. Doesn't really matter because this guy doesn't work at all, so anything this guy does is better right now.